on that.
And then we can just save it into the.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it being a little after 9 o'clock, we're starting this meeting.
Yeah, it looks like Mike got.
Steve
kicked.
is in Iowa and is logging
Can you
in,
log-
but may get kicked out.
Do we have a quorum with all of them?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you have 3, and then, yeah, you're good.
So, any comments from the public?
No.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Is there anybody on Zoom, Amy, in the public?
We've got Mike Norton. and-
No, any public people?
Oh, no, Mike is.
Did you say
Go Mike.
Republican?
No public people. So Mike is public, right?
Yeah.
Mike, any
He's on the
comments?
agenda though.
Oh, is it? All right. All right, now I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the May 19th meeting.
So move. Second.
Okay, any corrections or additions or? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Steve, I don't know if you can hear me. He's maybe mute. If he has a chairman's report. Did you mute him or does he mute himself?
He's muted. So I'll ask him to unmute.
Can you force him to unmute?
I believe.
Actually, I
know.
think you,
Can we force him to stick us on?
I
you
think
can, you
the
can ask,
person,
you can ask to unmute.
You cannot
But you
force
cannot
anybody to
force
come
them.
on
but the
camera.
person that's in
or-
charge has to do that. You were
Correct, the
saying-
host.
Yeah, the host.
Yeah, the whoever is
You
the
can force them
host,
to mute.
which right now the
Yes,
host
not
is
to-
that
or behind
computer.
the camera. Yeah,
Okay,
we can,
you're still muted if you can hear me, Steve.
we aren't.
No, we are not. He's trying,
Okay. How can you tell that?
just because it switched the image.
Oh. Okay, that's good to know.
That's me.
Well,
Okay, I would
should-
say we continue. Yeah.
we'll go on to safety share, and then if Steve does unmute and has something he wants to say, we'll come back to, actually, safety share comes first anyway. Okay, safety share.
Sure. Does anybody have anything that they wanna bring out to the public for sharing? It's summer, we gotta watch out for poison ivy and all those other good things, but now we're not.
Kids running between cars.
Out of school.
Yeah,
You gotta watch those like a hawk,
yeah,
so they won't look for
They won't-
traffic,
they won't look
they'll
for
just go
traffic.
after their ball.
yeah.
And I suppose another thing should be, we had an accident in the county highway department, he's.
He is
got a
home.
Broken collarbone and that's about it.
Well,
Lucky.
the flagman was flagging people, and the driver who hit him actually flipped off the flagman before he hit the county worker.
Well, what
boy.
Bob told me yesterday was a semi truck pushed a pickup truck into him.
That was enough.
That's what I heard. So whatever, but the good news is,
The man
all
lived
the-
and he's home.
yeah, and all the safety devices and everything were intact. And it goes back to, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can put all that stuff out there. But if you aren't watching what you're doing, and excuse me, and you don't have to put this in here, but the damn cell phones and texting really takes, I sit in front of my house and watch the cars go by. It's amazing how many people I see that are texting while they're going down.
Really?
So, paying attention to your driving becomes so
Yeah.
important, and yet it never fails. At the time we're late for work because the car didn't start, or like this morning, power outages all over the place, and then you start panicking. It's the worst thing you do, isn't it?
Yeah,
Life will go on.
yeah.
I come in late. Okay, I'm late. I don't do it on purpose, but I'm late. What are you gonna do? So keep that in mind. Make me sound good.
Wear your sunscreen, drink your water.
Yeah,
Very good.
sunscreen, drink water.
Yesterday on my way here, I had 2 cars cut me right off because they were in a hurry because they probably were going to get to work right around 8. And they both turned into the same place, and I was thinking, what is that important that, it was that where Harrison and Bowen come together, that little
That
intersection
weird,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so they cut us all right off, went in the opposite lane, cut everybody off and took off in front of all of us. We were all waiting there because there was a train. I thought, what is that important?
Yeah.
How you doing that?
I have to admit, retirement adds a different aspect because I'm never late for anything.
Okay. Anything else for safety? Steve, can you unmute yourself, and do you have anything for the chairman's report? Committee chair report. He hasn't unmuted, I don't think. It's hard to know if he's even on, if he's been booted off, right?
No, he's still on.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
It shows him, but he's not unmuting, so I'm wondering if he walked away.
Okay,
All right, we'll go on, and if we notice that if anybody notices that he's unmuted, we'll come back to him. Okay, Winnebago County Fair Association. Mike,
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
yeah, great.
Just fair coming up August 3rd to 7th. We got you some of our, as everybody calls it, fancy swags and can
Yay.
koozies and notebooks and pens, and I'll pass it around. If you guys want to grab anything out of here, feel free to, and I'll let that for you guys. We're doing our past 4-H Harrison's Fair is doing our farmer for the day again this year. Where kids can come in and go with other youth from that are showing and learn about showing, and kind of encourage them to maybe do some different exhibits at the fair in the future. Kind of draws kids over maybe to 4-H and stuff like that too. Got our rodeo on Wednesday, and we're doing a freestyle motocross. Cody Kavanaugh from Nina is gonna do that during the rodeo, kind of slipped in there. Farm tractor pull, Badger State tractor pull, and demo derby on Sunday. Stuck with the local bands again this year. They've done us pretty good in the past few years. And we got quite a bit for family entertainment. We got face painters and balloon art this year. Hicks Kid Show, we got the wood carver and the auction. Pig, duck, and goat races, and we have a small circus and actually a lumberjack show.
Wow.
So quite a few different things, and then we got our Veterans and Senior Day on Friday. And the Claire Codes Horse Bowl is on Friday. Mad Dog and Merrill will be there on Friday. We're gonna have bingo on Friday, and on Sunday there's gonna be a craft show in the morning. So hope you guys can all come out and see it. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions.
Mikey getting women's mud wrestling.
Well,
They had that when it was back at the old fairgrounds.
oh boy, back in that day, you could probably do that, but
It went over really well. And it was funny
We were
because it
gonna-
rained while
we
they
were
were
gonna-
doing it. They
we're
were
gonna
muddying
try to
it.
lever.
Women actually did this?
Oh, I'm sure they probably
Women's mud
did.
wrestling,
We
yeah.
did just lose Steve completely. Does that
Okay.
matter for?
no, it's not for quorum, we have quorum with the three that are here.
At the Monroe County Fair, I wrestled the bear and lost.
You did not.
did
I
too.
want proof next time.
Yeah, I lost.
Okay, I'm taking 2 sets, because I want to take some to Steve at the meeting
Sounds
next
good.
Tuesday.
I got Steve, though, he's gone now. Huh?
Yeah, we just.
I got his tickets, so I'll have to mail them to him.
Question, is the fairgrounds in a state that's gonna work for you with all the
It's
construction?
gonna have to.
I'm figuring it's gonna have to work for us because if Life Fest is gonna be in there before us, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
Get one of these too.
Kind of got it up and done before that.
Yeah, I know they're working hard on it, and we did, just for you guys to know too, I put in for a grant from Compeer, at Financial. It was a $4,000 grant, and, we got awarded the grant, and we turned that over to the county. Well, not really turned it over, but we purchased, plumbing supplies, and they're redoing all the barns, the water lines. So they were doing one barn and we paid for the other 3.
Are they gonna be relit? Are the bars gonna be relit in time for your event?
I hope so.
Ask that question.
I know they're working because they're doing all the LED lighting, right?
Yeah.
This is so cool. The back of the cozy even has a little
Schedule.
schedule events.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
so yeah, so
It's a
the
little
camping, Rick gave us the map. They got the final map now, so we're working on our camping, and that looks good. I think it's just gonna be the mud around places in there right now, so. And they started on the water line, so hopefully the water lines will be done for a fair too, so. You know, they got a lot of work going on there and we appreciate everything they're doing, so makes everything better for everybody using the grounds. So I don't know if anybody had any questions
We have
at
enough,
all.
we have enough money to start the fair. We don't have to.
We have enough money to start the
Okay.
fair this year. We are actually in good shape this year,
Good.
so.
Okay.
That's a positive, and then one thing.
How much is the entertainment budget, Mike, approximately?
I would say the local bands are about 25, Lumberjacks 10, 35, 45. With the kids shows and everything, I'd probably say we're running about $75,000 just for the entertainment.
Is that more than last year?
Quite a bit more, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we had,
We probably had a toned down one or,
oh, well, wait a
Downs-
minute, I'm sorry, it's actually more than that, that's just, if you include the grandstand and everything, it goes way over that. We're probably 70,000 more than last year that we're spending for entertainment. Cause we added the lumberjack show, the circus, the pig and duck races. We had some face painting and stuff like that. So yeah, we're probably about 60,000-70,000 more than last year.
now if only the weather cooperates, right?
Hopefully, the weather
Yeah.
cooperates. That's what we need. This is probably the most we've spent in quite a while on a fair, so.
oh, I hope people are fair hungry.
Yeah, I hope so. If anybody knows any groups that would like to park cars, we are looking for car parkers.
Okay.
Contact the fair and we will hook them up. Like,
Wow,
we-
ages, are there ages for that?
what's, you know, the Boy Scouts I've done in the past, they have one or two of their leaders with them and some youth and,
That's really just
Leaders.
directing people,
yeah.
go down that aisle, go down that aisle.
Yep, just so they're not triple parking each other and stuff like that.
Which is nice to have. I mean, when you have some kind of forum, you bring them in and it's, instead of
Yeah.
parking all over and getting it.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that a fundraising opportunity? for
yep,
groups? You're
yep,
paying that?
we paid $2,000. We raised a few this year just to try to get somebody. there.
You pay $2,000 for how many people?
$2,000 for the 5 days
For the group?
for the
The whole
group.
group.
So if there were more than, so if there's more than one group, they're splitting the
We
2,000.
split it up.
Okay, $2,000 for the 5 days.
I don't know, any more questions at all, or? Is otherwise,
What about signing up for training? Or 4-H?
oh, for the
Oh, yeah.
Clover Buds, or?
I do
Yeah,
Clover
Clover
Buds
Buds.
every
That's the
year.
only thing I'm qualified to judge.
Hey, I did Barnes last
I
year
know.
and
I did Barnes one year.
it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve is utilizing the chat.
It's time consuming, but it's
Oh.
fun.
The
Kinda.
Clover Buds are.
They are. I get,
Since Steve is on there, I'll tell him, I got your tickets here, Steve.
The veterans have a table.
at the fair?
That's the message, veterans have a table?
At the fair, thanks.
Yeah, I believe, I'm almost positive they contacted me, the county veterans department.
Okay, good.
And I think I don't know if it's social services or whatever with the foster care, I think they were gonna do something this year too.
Okay.
Mike, how many food vendors are you looking to get in?
We're probably gonna not take any more food vendors, we actually got quite a few.
20?
Probably about 15.
Okay.
Yeah, when you start getting too many, and then they start duplicating the stuff, and then people don't make enough money to pay to be there, so. So yeah, so just hopefully we'll have good amount of food vendors. We got, I don't know if anybody's been there and had Ben's Pretzels. Ben's Pretzels is coming back this year, so they were a favorite. We finally lured them back. So I was kind of hoping they wouldn't come back because my kids cost me too much money at that stand. So,
They must be good pretzels.
oh, they're good.
You probably have an account there.
Just
I
leave
got
a credit
smart.
card on
I
file.
got smart after a while. I just started giving them, here's your money for the fair, the rest is on you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so,
Oh, I know my daughter and her friends, they have to go every year.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions for Mike or anything else you want to report?
that's all I can think of right about now.
This is exciting.
So hopefully we'll have good weather and everything will come all good. So,
Does that little one you have there have all the events on?
oh yeah, well, oh, there wasn't in there?
I didn't get.
Okay.
It was in the bottom. You had to dig through.
Oh.
I didn't.
Alright.
Anybody else need to dig?
I would like one of
No.
them. I didn't know if I
I
could
got
get
it.
one from our office or not. Get one?
Yeah.
You knew how to dig.
No, I dug and I got one out for him. I dug for Doug.
Thank you.
So, but Steve, if you have any questions, I know you always have questions. Feel free to give me a call
Or put it in chat.
and appreciate what you guys do for us in the county, helping us out and the support you guys give us.
Okay, anything else? Thanks. Okay, Mandy, Winnebago County Diversity Affairs Commission.
Yep, super brief report. Thanks to those folks who have attended this bar. We are closing out the first half of the year of our education. So we had educational events the second Thursday of the month, January through June. Our June attendance hit 91 at the peak, so we're growing pretty steadily. And then we scheduled a July off, just knowing that the way July 4th works, some people are going to take off the week before, some people are going to take off the week after. So we took a brief pause and then in August, we have booked, let me see, we have booked SOAR in August to talk about different abilities. In September, we've booked the older adults and aging population. October will be an extension led processing, just sort of like reflecting on what we've learned and how we want to continue this work together and really individual and community change. Beth Roberts from the ADRC, who is the booking partner of extension in this, is working on in November a Native American heritage speaker and then possibly in December a Muslim speaker. So those have not been confirmed.
Okay.
So Beth and I share the year. Our speakers, extension speakers are all confirmed and done. So then it will switch over to Beth doing the booking from September to December. So that's the educational piece. I talked to Marion Miller, who is Winnebago County Court Counsel, and she gave me a heads up that there is a resolution going to the county board about mandating recording of educational events and all business of commissions and etc. In our committee, in the Diversity Affairs Committee meeting, Beth and I advised against recording for a variety of reasons. One is there's several. One, none of the speakers agreed to be recorded when we asked them. Beth and I leveraged our partners and networks to get these speakers to come. And none of them have agreed to that. So should they be mandated to record, we will also have to go back to them and change the agreement. So we can't promise these speakers will agree to be recorded. Oftentimes speakers will not agree to be recorded more often than not. At this point, none of the August, September, October, November, December speakers are being paid. So they're doing this on their own time as a professional favor for Beth and I. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is there was one instance where a speaker's words were utilized in open forum in a pretty challenging way at a county board meeting, and our other speakers, some of them were aware of that.
At one of our county board meetings?
Yes. So when you put a recording out into the world, right, and these And the bigger picture is these educational events, when we originally designed them, were meant to be conversation and dialogue. So that's the last reason why we are advising against the recording of this, is our purpose was really to be able to have conversation and dialogue with community members, being able to ask vulnerable questions and learn and grow together. And that will change should we record things, because when you record something, you put it out into the world, you put people at risk. So we will have to back up our marketing and announce and advertise that the events will be recorded, which will, two things will happen. One, people will maybe not attend because they don't feel safe or want to be recorded. And number two, the question and answer period will probably decrease because of that very same reason. And three, oftentimes people don't attend things that are recorded because they have the intention, I'm going to just go back and watch it a different time. So we discussed that with the commission, and had that, we have concern.
Would you like to, I'm sorry, would you like to see an exemption presented?
Can I give a point of clarification?
Yes.
The resolution that you are going to, that is on the agenda, to amend section 22, the Information Services Committee has struck and online educational events. So it's already exempted of what you're voting on.
Oh,
We're creating, however,
That's
it's
brand new
important for Mandy to create awareness, because it could be amended, or that could be the part of the conversation. So
Okay.
I just want to, it's section 22, and all county board, committee, commission, and board meetings in buildings shall be held in hybrid mode, in person and live streamed digitally or broadcasted. And then so taking out reference to specific platforms, and then the platform must include an option for public to make video appearance with speaking capabilities during the appropriate time for public comment. So that is the current that you're reviewing.
Okay.
It's good awareness because there could be amendments.
yeah.
And it will require a 2/3 vote because of, just because of the type of amendment that it is.
And alternatively, in the spirit of wanting this information out in the world, we believe that we want people to have access to it. We also recognize the 3 to 4 o'clock, 3 to 4:30 is really difficult for parents picking up children, working people, all of that. We would like to come to a place of both, which means could we ask and pay for a speaker? There's some money in the budget that's held by the county executive. Can we ask these speakers to record a 45-minute prepared, the information that they were going to share? We would pay them for that time, and that would be what was recorded, shared out into the world, and then still have these
So
monthly.
we're private in-person kind of meetings.
Yeah, and still
Yeah.
have that public dialogue
Yeah,
that's open and non-recorded. So we did recommend that
That's a good
because we're really working to create the meeting everyone's needs and wants. This is really wonderful, powerful information. And we want to make sure that it is meaningful. So can we negotiate a road where we get both? That the work gets out there, we can work with these future speakers, compensate them for a prepared 45-minute recorded presentation that they do on their own time, right? When it works for them. And then continue to hold the spirit of a non-recorded educational dialogue with the same speaker, still giving a presentation, and then also having that really wonderful question and answer time that folks aren't recorded on. So that's sort of what extension is, and is really hoping we can get to an and place, recognizing, of course, we want the work out there for all county residents, and that no time you pick is ever going to work for everyone. So
Right.
we believe in that, and we can find a way to do it. We just have to work together on that. So that's the educational piece. The steering committee commission piece, we're in a really difficult place right now. The chair of the commission is Latiria Garrett. She is a community member. who was appointed as a commission member at the founding and then was elected as the chair last year. And with the resolution that meetings need, one of two things, they need to be held after 3 p.m. or there needs to be a 100% consensus and before 3 p.m. scheduling. We have been unable to schedule a meeting with the commission. So we did not, we had, she sent out surveys with times and days. We had a quorum, and then there were some folks who could not attend. So we had to cancel June, which is our annual meeting as per bylaws. So we have, and that's where we do the elections of new chair and leadership. So we did not get to quorum and canceled June.
Isn't there a part of that, Chris, where if the committee agrees that they can't do it, they don't have to do it?
Correct.
You have to get to a 100%.
Yeah.
You're not getting.
We are not to
items?
100%.
We're the ones that are giving you trouble.
I don't know that anybody's giving us trouble. I think there's just scheduling issues. So there's just not a common time. We have three new appointed people to a 7-person commission, which is significant.
Yeah.
Both of our elected officials are new. We weren't able to retain Steve. So we have 2 new elected officials representing the county board. We have 1 new citizen. So we have a finally 7-person commission, which is amazing. We cannot get to that. So
So that's the rule the county has is not impacting this. It's the people can't get together to figure out when they're gonna meet.
yeah, we were doing well when we were able to meet during the day.
Camera wrangling is, calendar wrangling is, I mean, it's a significant portion of my job.
Yeah,
so I
It's
mean,
just right,
it
it's
isn't
just
that
right,
we
and,
can't-
and every person you add 1 more calendar, and it makes it.
Yeah.
a
yeah,
Well,
Tom, we
I-
never missed quorum when we were meeting during the day at 11 or 1.
but-
Yeah.
Now that.
Yep.
So is it or is it not the county board saying you have to meet? That's not doing it. It's that even if you didn't have that, you couldn't meet because you couldn't get 7 people to meet.
We only
together.
need 4 to get to quorum, and we always had quorum,
So I'm confused.
and we were meeting during the day. So
So it may be having an impact,
yes,
and added calendars also add an additional layer to it.
so it's a both.
But
It's
and
a
a
then
both.
you should be able
Yeah.
to take off the board, you don't have to meet after 3. If you can get the people on the board to say, we don't want to, we can meet during the day, we can't meet over, we get 4 during the day or not. That should be the exception. I was under the impression.
I think we have to get, my understanding is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and so I can work with Latiria. So we have to get 100% of the commission to say during the day is okay, and then we can schedule during the day.
Correct.
Right, so
We don't have, we have 2 people that, 1 or 2 that need an evening meeting. So it's just a changing of schedules. Summer is different than fall. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
just, well, that's what I'm gonna say to you next. So Latiria, the chair, sent out, tried her very best. We have all documentation of that. We were at quorum. We had a person say, I can't come. We dropped below quorum. We canceled the meeting. I sent an email to John, Executive Damo, Ethan, and Marianne Miller asking for guidance of what Latiria should do now. If we can't get to quorum, what do we do? Marianne Miller's advice was if we don't get to quorum in July, repeating the same effort of like, please tell me when you can meet, let's coordinate calendars. Then Marianne advised that we have John reach out to the appointed folks and ask for commitment, understanding, conversation, because he appointed, these are his appointees. So looking at that, so it is a challenge. We're in a space of a holding pattern, trying to reestablish a new chair and vice chair and secretary. So that's one thing. The second thing that's sort of out there right now is my understanding is that chairs are compensated in committee work and Latiria is not.
I know the reason for that.
Okay,
Okay, the reason for that is that the judiciary never declared this an actual county commission. That's what's holding it up. And I don't know why, I don't know if it's now that we have new people on that committee, if that will change. but until the county actually, until that board actually recognizes the diversity commission as a county commission, that's what's holding it up, but I don't know why.
Who could we speak to get clarification? Because we are regulated by all the county commission rules, so it's interesting.
Yeah,
I just have
Yeah.
some lack of understanding of how if we're regulated, she is not compensated in in an equitable fashion.
There's
I've
all sorts
risen
of
that.
more that goes into that, then, because then it should have a budget. And you should be rolling in compensation for your speakers, and
yeah.
that's all has to be.
I would
done.
ask Mary Ann, I think, to start with. I think that would be
Yeah,
the one place to
We'll
go.
start there. I just want to keep raising that because I think that when you're a diversity affairs commission and you have a person who is representing us from the community, that she should be compensated.
Yes.
She or he or they should be compensated in an equitable manner as other elected officials, even if they are not an elected.
She's a
official.
person of color, correct?
She is a person.
Okay,
of
so
color.
here we have, the one person of color who's chairing a committee, a county commission or board or committee, and she's the one person not being paid.
Well,
I mean, it's just
but
wrong.
the commission doesn't have a budget, doesn't have any
Yeah,
money.
right.
So does the payment for chairs come out of the budget of the commission? Or does it come from a different budget? I think that would be another
I don't
good
know.
question. So
That I
we'll
don't know.
unpack that. Chris and I will work on unpacking that. That's extensions.
Because I get paid because
I
I'm on
spend
the county board.
95% of my time unpacking complicated things.
Just
Suitcases.
buzzwords.
It's not a buzzword. It is here's a problem. Let's take it out piece by
Yeah.
piece and examine it. So extension's role with the commission to this point, mainly my role and goal has been to
Get out of it.
that might be the outcome. The role, don't put that, no, I'm kidding. The role really has been to support the commission in putting up guardrails, right? So that they can do the work, but I liaison between the county and right now Lateria, really trying to build a communication bridge between her and the county. I believe she might be one of the only citizens elected as a chair. So there's lots of bumpy stuff in that. She doesn't have a county email. So the commission does not have an email. So every step of the way, she was elected and appointed, and I want to make sure she has the same opportunity and support and resources as every other chairperson to make sure that this is a successful endeavor.
Yeah,
It has not been without a lot of bumps. So that's role number one, is really supporting the commission. Now, as we are at a 7-person appointment right now, we believe, Chris and I have had this conversation, that there will be a renegotiation in the near future about us starting to pull back a little bit and allowing this commission to function more independently. Our goal has always been to dig in deep and then back off, so that extension is where extension should be, which is in education.
right.
So we're not there. Every time we do something, we get a bump. But we'll be bringing this back to you as a renegotiation of the bylaws, and where we're gonna step back and allow this commission. But we've got we need the chair to be connected appropriately to the county so that she has a voice, or whoever it is in the future has an appropriate voice and an equal voice to other chairs of other commissions.
So, that all being said, next Tuesday's meeting, we're gonna have to, as supervisors, we're gonna have to watch what's going on and talk.
Yeah.
But the talking is, there's more to come. It's gonna cost more money.
We haven't unpacked, I have not heard anything about the payment.
Well, I
We've
think-
raised it up.
I think you put that in the parking.
Yeah, I put that in the parking lot. You are a lingo guy. So we've sort of dropped that right now because there's bigger things with this recording to do. So again, I would love the message, if you are supportive, to be that we are willing and able to find a way to get this message out there to a broader platform via recording. But we want it to be and need it to be a collaborative effort versus a reaction to resolution that doesn't move the work forward. So that's what we've asked for. That's what I've asked for. That's what our committee members have asked for. And so if we could get that support, and it's not that we don't want to record, it's not that we just want to do it in a responsible manner.
See, in this resolution didn't go through any committee. This is brought up by Rachel Dowling and Nate Gustafson. So when you say,
No, if you look at the bottom, the color coded version, sorry, the color coded, so there is the online version has colors. And at the bottom, the key is that judiciary made some edits, suggested edits, and information systems made some edits. So I'm making an assumption that even though it may not be, even though it may not be that they're the ones who have submitted, those committees have provided some input.
but then when you say it should go back to committee for vetting, I'm gonna say it should go back to those two committees. And they should take and address the concerns that Mandy has.
So so here's my interpretation, and I'm just reading it. If it's approved as it is in front of you, it would address Mandy's and the Diversity Affairs Commission's concerns. So if it's approved as is without amendments, those concerns are addressed and have been taken into account.
It
It would
the
be-
concern that I have is what's the cost for it? How's it gonna impact the taxpayer? And
So-
that's not addressed here, right?
That is not addressed here.
And it has to go back to
Oh,
committee.
Okay, so if we're asking it for Diversity Affairs Commission, if we're asking for that stipend for speakers, that money was already allocated last year. It was $2,000 for the year. So that money is already sitting there. Steve asked for that money. There is, for this specific thing, there would be no additional cost to anyone for us to be able to record educational events.
There's gotta be a cost with IT,
Nope, we take care of all the recording and hosting.
and that doesn't cost us any money in this department.
No. No, because we've already paid for the Zoom account. The Zoom accounts are already paid for. They use the extension Zoom account, which is a UW Madison expense. So $15 a month. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. There is no additional expense to have a speaker come in and record a 45-minute presentation. We have all the infrastructure for that. The money we would offer is that extra time, because they'd be actually committing to two things. That is already in the budget that Steve asked for. Yeah, that's a great question, great concern.
Well, it's not obvious.
Yeah, no, it is, no, that's a great clarification. I want to hear all the concerns so that we can address or
Yeah.
reroute.
You're gonna have to come to the meeting, hear all of them, because there'll be stuff coming out of the woodwork on this.
I
We've never
watch the
seen.
recordings and I do see them. Yeah, I do see them.
Do you?
It's
do
a
you
committee
want-
that
Do
is
you want to be
controversial.
at the county board meeting in case there are things that come up that we could call on you?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
Yeah, no, but thank you for asking. I am not I am not a commission member. I'm a liaison, so I'm bringing you information from the commission. And we've expressed this at the commission, and as this is new to me. I talked to Marianne like 2 days ago, and it was different. So this is new. This passing as is addresses all the concerns. We will still continue to work to make sure we can get that voice out there.
And you have to say concerns for this year. Because
Yeah.
technically speaking.
Yeah.
The board's gonna have to look at a budget for next year, which would be additional funds, and then you know better where you're at.
Yeah.
But that's, Doug, Karen and me are gonna have to speak to that, and we're not gonna be able to pull and help anybody else. Well, Steve Bender, is he gonna be here, or is he still
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
shopping for cars?
Steve, if you can hear me, put it in chat if you're gonna be at the Tuesday meeting.
So the one thing I will also add is the Diversity Affairs Commission is not the only body that has concerns specifically about the educational portions. For example, the zoning, the group that oversees zoning, they do a number of educational tours that as it was written, they would have to have somebody film the tours, which would be very problematic, and
Are those outside?
they are outside. So this is where the amendments are taking care of that. So I'm just showing, so as amended or as you are reviewed, if passed as it is proposed, it would eliminate that burden on that particular group. Land conservation as well. Parks sometimes will do tours as they review their different projects and things like that. So this amendment does address those concerns because many of those are outdoors, and it also takes out if it's the educational sessions in which there is no action taken, but they're but they're for the informational purposes of the board of the community. So what I'm saying is that I know that you're here and the conversation, you're looking at through the lens of diversity affairs, which is right, that's good and appropriate. And there are other groups that were maybe even more burdened or just as burdened with the language as, and the proposal that's before you would provide that would satisfy or reduce that burden from those from a number of groups that have those concerns.
My concern was, I came into this job anticipating that the committees, when a resolution comes to the board, it's been vetted through the committees, they've looked at it, they've torn it apart, they've asked legal, they've asked all these other committees and everything else. And so when I'm looking at it, I can look at my 5-0 accepted and know that it's been properly vetted. When I get these kind of things, I get a little bit nervous because I'm going, who's looked at these? Now, you're telling me they kind of have, but I'm not seeing on this resolution that anybody's done that. And that's a big picture I'm having.
Right.
not just
And
one example.
you'd have to look at the county at your own supervisor rules a little bit closer. But if you've noticed, one of the things that come out of committees and from the departments have the memos and the support documents, we're required before it even goes onto the agenda, we have to complete all of those items that will give you that information. I don't know what the level, again, I just know what I'm responsible for, what the level of scrutiny that all proposals or resolutions are needed.
And I appreciate that, but that's how come I asked it, because I'm going,
Yeah.
if it's gonna come back to this committee, then well, we gotta have all the answers. Well, we don't. Because
I don't
other
know if that'll
people-
come back to this committee, because it's not just diversity affairs.
Oh, what's the-
Yeah.
I
So
know.
what committee are we gonna?
I
say?
would-
I share that.
So
I
Tom,
don't know.
I would just, my suggestion is to look at those two that are at the bottom that have had an opportunity would be, is it? I'm sorry, I lost track. It's right in,
Judiciary and.
and information
Services.
services.
And
So,
what's happening is Patty Information Services, they're asking her, she's telling them, but I don't know who they is. You know, and again, I have that same problem in some of the other resolutions where we've been talking to. You know, bring your pillows and your noodles along. It's gonna be a long.
Noodles? That's a 1980s reference right there. I'm pretty
So
proud of
anyhow,
that.
again,
early 90s.
I guess the point we have to make here is that we as supervisors in this committee have to watch out what's going on and do our best guess on it. And, you know, I'm gonna try not to talk because I get all wound up.
Well, and we too here will make sure that we bring them to you and discuss impact, right? Like that was my role for being here today is this came to us. And it does have impact on the work that we're doing. So that's what we want to be able to share. And always looking for middle ground, always. That's what we really strive for, is to meet needs and meet middle ground.
That would help us. We need it.
We do. Does anyone have any other questions for diversity affairs for me, or suggestions or topics or feedback or?
So really the structure for the committee as far as how it's gonna be structured really isn't quite there yet. We still don't know where we're going, because we got 7 people, but now we're thinking, well, 7 is hard to coordinate. That
We
could
are-
change.
Yeah, we're working on it. More to come. Every day I talk to the chair almost every day, so supporting her and supporting the structure of the commission.
Well,
is-
Thank you,
is
and keep on doing that.
Appreciate her work. She's a very, very committed and intelligent and tenacious and courageous individual who is now doing a lot more work in the county as far as this. So we might lose her to public health, honestly, if, you know what? Yeah, because she's doing some work on the equity training. So she's fantastic and she's brilliant and just really knows how to keep her cool and keep moving forward. So
Okay. No other questions for me, Andy?
thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay, UW Division of Extension Program or Education Reports and Updates, and Christy has some wind damage, so she's not here. So, Chris.
Yep, and I'm gonna pause, because
Oh.
I think I just want to give a pause, so Mike, this is your chance to leave.
Yeah.
So, I'm
Go
gonna,
back to
Put the
work.
Yeah,
guy
I
at the
know.
non-squeaky table. He
so one
should've
of the
over-
things, Christy is gonna, Christy will join us at an upcoming, thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
At an upcoming meeting. Annually, she reviews the FoodWise agreement with the county, and that was the main purpose. And so she'll come back and visit, and we'll share that, and she'll share that information with you and allow an opportunity for conversation. So, but then we have Chris, so.
I won't be talking about any contracts or anything like that. I'm just going to update you on what FoodWise for me looks like this summer. Remember, I do work for Winnebago, Outagamie, Calumet, and Wapaka. I'm only going to report on Winnebago, although I'm so excited to hear that Mandy's working with SOAR, because I have been working with them since I started 20-something years ago. And I'm glad they're coming in to do a talk for you.
I may have name dropped, I'm not sure.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm excited about that. So a couple of the things that I'm doing for Winnebago County this summer is I just started working, I'm gonna be doing a 10-week series with Menasha Boys and Girls Club. I'm taking all the age groups and I'm going in and working with them on cooking. They're gonna be learning how to cook, they're gonna be learning how to cut, measure, all that type of stuff. And I'm taking elementary first, and then the next 5 weeks will be I don't think I'm doing high school, so I'm going to be doing middle school. And those are great places to start. Each curriculum is different, and we'll have 5 topics for each of them. Next, I want to talk about is the farmers market. I started this is something that we started last year. We do farmer market tours in the Oshkosh Farmers Market. My colleague does the one in Appleton. I have been working with the board there, and once a month I will be going in and doing farmer market tours. Anybody that does attend, I've worked at that, they get a $1 tokens to use at the farmers market so that they can go through them and purchase what they would like. This year, what has changed, because last year was somewhat of a success, being the first time I wanted to work with about 30 people. This year, I am asking for the same. And last year I had about 15. This year I already have 15 scheduled for the first 2, which is very exciting. That's June and July. What I am going to be taking on this year is we have a large amount of refugees that are working with the Literacy Council. There's a program called Fresh Start. There's about 100 to 150 refugees in the area. And they were given a grant that if they attend the farmer market tour with me, they will be receiving $25 to spend at the market. So this is a lot of additional people that I'm going to be taking through the farmers market, which is wonderful because the program just started. I'm only in my 2nd year and we have this going on now. I think it's a great program. It's a great way for them to learn. They do have to speak English, which is great. Although through the extension and FoodWise, I already have someone that will be coming in that does not speak English. And I'm working with Madison to bring an interpreter in so that they can understand what I'm saying. These are all large things that we have learned due to COVID and doing things differently, and now having interpretation is amazing. I am using the Oshkosh Area Community Pantry as a promotion tool. I will be there, I go there 2 to 3 times a month. I promote the tours at the farmer's market. And I also make something that they have an abundance of in the pantry. And then I hand out samples and recipes for how they may be able to use that. So what I have here today is the sample or the recipe that I will be making if you'd like to take it. It's great for summer. It has fruit, milk, all nutritious, wonderful things that they can try. So these 3 main things will be keeping me very busy this summer. Like I said, I also have SOAR. I also have something in Calumet County. We are doing story time at Ledgeview Gardens, which I think is really important. And we're providing samples. We're working with children. There's so many things going on for FoodWise right now, but this is just the things in Winnebago County. I haven't worked, the reason that I think the Oshkosh Pantry is really important is because I have not worked with them since before COVID. And now that they're having people come through the pantry and they want me there, which I think is amazing. And they have all new employees. There's one, Brandon, who's been there for a while, but the other 3, the director, the manager, all 3 of them are new. So sitting down with them, the FoodWise team sat down with them, said, how can we be utilized? What do you want us to do? And this is just where we're starting right now. I have no idea where this is going to go, but I will tell you every time we go in there, they are amazed with some of the things that we do. Since I had been there since, the pantry started, I do know my way around. I do know what I'm doing, not to toot my own horn, but that is something that they love. They don't have to worry about me. They know that I know what I'm doing. I go in, I do what I have to do, and it gets results. And I am very excited about that. To have almost 15 people scheduled for a farm market tour just for 2 months is what I had all summer. So, and I think it's just going to get bigger and better. And I think the idea of offering them $10 for them to spend, whether they're children, whether they're adults, it's pretty amazing. And I can't wait to find out how this refugee Fresh Start program goes too.
Chris, can I ask you a question? Is there a local farm markets document that says where they are and when they are?
There used to be, especially in our area and Neenah, Menasha, and for Winnebago County. I know a lot of them had fallen apart due to COVID.
Okay.
So this is the first year back that the vendors at the Oshkosh one are going to be full. They used to have one at Festival Foods and one at South Park. I'm not sure whether those are up and running again. I would have to check into that. I know that Neenah has brought theirs back as well. And again, dates and times I would have to check into that. And Appleton is still huge. And I think they're coming back at almost capacity. We were given maps and everything for this one, and it is going to be very large.
I just know we had that great handout. I'm not asking.
Yes.
I'm asking you to update it. You're busy enough. I was just wondering if it existed out in there.
I'm sure that we could probably come up with something. This is the farm market tours. We just don't go through and I wanted to express this. We don't just go through the market and talk about what we want. There's an actual curriculum. It's called Discover Wisconsin Farmers Market, a guided tour. And we do follow this very explicitly. Some of the things that we do go through are why to shop there, what's all there, what's in season. It's a really great booklet with great questions, great information, recipes. It even has what's in season and when. And this is for everybody throughout the state that they can come up with this. They talk about SNAP benefits, if you go in and you use your Quest card. This year right now, if you purchase $10 off your Quest card, they give you $10 free. And then if they do my tour, they get an additional $10 free. So on Saturdays, if you come in and do my tour, you spend $10 and you get 30, which is a really great. Last year, they had a grant where if you bought 20, you got 20 free. And then if you did my tour, you got an additional $10. It was quite a bit. They're still working on that, I know. Some of the other things, that talks about what you can buy, because with SNAP benefits, there's only so many things that you can purchase. And again, this one is storing, how to keep and store your fresh fruits and vegetables when you purchase them, how to freeze vegetables. So there's a lot of information that we go through when we go
So
through
they
a
get,
tour.
they get a copy of that.
They
when-
get, yes, this is my actual, I go through this and everybody who comes gets the booklet, plus they get an actual grocery bag that has Food Wise on it. And then there's information in there how to connect to our Food Wise pages, our Facebook pages that have a lot of information on them about the upcoming programs that we're going to be having. Throughout the winter months, we have a virtual across the 4-county program class that they can attend. It's free, but they do get benefits. They get measuring cups and anything Food Wise that we may have just for attending a virtual lesson. There's so much that's going on in Food Wise right now. But I have to-
Are you doing these things, these tours every Saturday?
I-
At the farmer's market in Oshkosh, for instance, or when are you doing this?
I have chosen once a month,
Okay,
but this program, I have to discuss with Christy. The refugee program is requesting a lot more of my time, almost 2 to 3 Saturdays. And that's something that we're gonna have to discuss.
yeah,
I think
because you have other kids in other counties.
I do,
And a
plus, and I have a life, and I have a teenage daughter.
No, don't give us that
I-
malarkey.
There's the extension t-shirt.
Just kidding, Chris. I have a wife.
No, don't give us that life malarkey.
Trust me, this is my life. This is my life. No. So that is something that is going to be discussed because Michael Mooney, I believe is his name, who's running the Fresh Start program and on the farm market committee, is requesting me quite a bit of more of my time, and that's
Can I see
something
that?
we have
Well,
to- absolutely.
I'll give it back. I mean, I only have,
So that again is not my, it is part of my decision, but it's something Christy and I have to discuss before we give an answer.
right,
We were informed of this refugee program back in February when I contacted them to say, hey, you know, can we do the same thing? Can we still do the farmer market tours? They informed me of this program and I said, okay, that is wonderful. I would love to be a part of this. Let me know as soon as you know. Well, then I got an email that requested my dates and times. So I gave them my dates and times and when I was going to be at the farmer's market. Well, then all of a sudden they're like, hey, but what about our program? Like, well, I didn't know anything. I knew about it, but I didn't know it was going to go through. So after I'd given them everything, now they want all these changes. So that's kind of what we're working on to see if that can happen and if that can work. So
Okay.
that would be a
and if
lot
one
of,
of us wanted to go on the tour and see what you're doing, you'd let us do that, you let us tag along, we're not looking for,
absolutely.
we're not looking for the
You do it for
tokens.
$10.
Yeah, I'll do it for
Well,
$10.
you know what?
Me too, Karen, that's a
You know what
lot
you
of
also get though, is I have it worked out with some of the vendors that you get to try some of the things that they have.
Oh,
You get to sample. you
Can
know,
I
that
just
type of
request
stuff.
you just do it independently? I want a personal
Sure.
tour.
yeah.
I'll take Karen with me, it'll be fine.
So I have a question.
Yes,
You said you were gonna do a presentation at the Boys and Girls Club in Menasha and how to cook.
well, it's a 5-week series program. I'm there for 5 weeks, once a week.
Once a week,
Right, and so right now I'm working with elementary kids.
right? Because now, what I'm saying, if I have somebody that wants to get involved, I got a granddaughter that's a sophomore in high school that's had Spanish.
Okay.
Does that help you at all, or aren't you looking for help?
I'm not looking for any help, but that doesn't mean that the Boys and Girls Club would not love that help. I am just someone who goes in because we work together, we're partners.
So then how do I, if they want to sign up for that, how does that happen?
My suggestion is that she would contact the Menasha Boys and Girls Club and see if they could use her help.
Well, no, to take your course.
Oh, you want her to take my course? Do you want her to learn how to cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have a 8-year-old grandson.
Mhm.
And I have a 15-year-old granddaughter and a 16-year-old. I'm thinking that some of them might be too old.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. They're middle school and high schoolers that I am working with. In the winter, I did just high school. So you could contact me. I could let you know
Well, but
If
I
she
go to
wanted
the boys
to-
club, we'll just go through.
You can, they would
you
have to
seen
be
this?
members, or they would have to be someone who attends the boys club, yeah.
Yeah,
Boys and
they
Girls
do.
Club. Yeah,
So then they can't attend.
they probably could not attend. I'm not saying that,
I should
For
ask them
sure,
and find
but
out.
yes,
how
yes,
they're
you
structured.
could ask them if they could just come to my class, I'm not sure how that would work,
I can handle that.
okay?
I can walk in the front door and make a new friend.
It is a
They're
wonderful
amazing there.
program, they
I love
are,
that. And that building, whoo, I do training
in
there.
the national one, yes.
So fancy.
Well, I was crossing guard there for a while.
Way to go.
And they put in these new lights where you press the button, the lights go on. Well, these young kids are coming to school, they press the button, they start walking. I almost had a heart attack. I said, no, wait, stop, you gotta stop, you gotta look and see. So then we had the education part of, okay, the lights are on, but you look at the eyes of that person in that car, and they better identify that they see you, otherwise you don't go.
Yeah,
And then we did that through other areas too, because just because you put them out, doesn't mean they use them right, they just quit. But that, I will talk to the Boys and Girls Club.
that sounds wonderful. Because you never know, they may take on a specific class.
I'm trying to get, because the next thing is kind of towards Chris, is it sounds like she is getting a lot of people. Are we keeping track of how we're in?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, this is what I did. I can show you. I can give you a great example. Like yesterday, when I was at the Boys and Girls Club, there people have to fill out this for me, and then I go into our CARE system, which is a statewide demographic program that we use, and then I have to enter all this into pairs. And we don't need names, that's why just the initials are there, but we do need gender, if they're Hispanic or not, and then we also need their race.
See, and that to me, somewhere along the line, we're gonna use that information to justify what we're doing, because we can say, we are reaching out to these.
Yeah.
Right, and
That's exactly what it's for.
yes, and it's wonderful because the new system that we use, which is CARES or pairs, I'm sorry, it's pairs.
Did I hear parents?
Pairs, you must be hungry. It's called pairs. CARES is the actual Winnebago County program that they use, but ours is called pairs. And we have to enter everything on there. And prior to the computer one, we always did it through papers. Like I said, I've been here since, oh gosh, forever. And we have gone through so many jumps to get to this point where this is amazing.
Amy could tell you who attended a class 4 years ago
Yes,
by
she
number.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like get you.
To me,
Yeah, we have that. Anytime you
Yes.
ever want that,
And usually-
Amy has all the people.
And usually
Oh my
what happens is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But Christy will put together an end of year program for all of you to see. And it'll tell you how many people that we have served, whether they're
Right.
children, their
And
parents.
that's part of her update.
Yeah,
she-
that is her as her position as a coordinator. She keeps track of all that and puts together.
The other, in addition, so one, it's important stuff to do. It also, the information is used to measure impact. It also is part of the accountability for the federal grant. So
Right.
there, I mean, that's where the big justification, because as long as the justifications are still there, then there's still the funds can continue to, be utilized and keep flowing into Wisconsin. So.
And we're a 4-county project, which there aren't that many throughout the state. The only county that I don't really work in is Wapaka because they have an educator there, but the other 3 counties I utilize, and we use a lot of our funding for incentives. We use it for supplies. So like today, I'm making this recipe. I can go to the store, I can purchase all of these supplies. So we have funding for so many different things, and that's wonderful. That keeps us being able to offer everything that we can at this level.
Because you're amazing.
I think we all are amazing here. We have a wonderful, wonderful group. I have talked to Chris about this. I think Christy is an amazing coordinator. Like I said, you all know I've been here a long time. She is an amazing coordinator to be able to work with all 4 counties and do the things that we do, keep it all straight, and then work with 4-H. I work with 4-H once in a while. I work with other programs, and to be able to do that, it's, you know why I've been here so long. There's nothing shy of the amazing things that we all do here. I mean, our support staff, I've even told him, even our state, Catherine, our state leader, I've even told her, we have the best county, I'm sorry, we have the best workers, we have the we have the
Period.
best people, we work so well together, we do so many things and accomplish things. I'm sorry, us taking the lead on the interpretation services throughout the whole state, I mean, I know we were one that took the lead on that and be able to offer this and to be able to offer classes through a 4-county project online. It's just the things that we do are, I'm sorry, they're amazing, all of us.
Stop
I
apologizing.
can't say that
Yeah,
enough.
what's happening? here? I'm gonna poke
I'm not
you
gonna
every time.
apologize again, so. And we couldn't do it without all of you either, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we paved the way in relationships. So
We do.
SOAR was like, sure, I'll come see you, to speak for diversity affairs because Chris has done so much work. So they recognize our name. So we don't have to all be everywhere
Right.
to be able to leverage those partnerships and relationships. And I think that's one of the untold stories of Extension is that we build trust for each other. And then the doors open easier.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, though, you get a phone call. Why there?
That does happen
I don't
frequently.
It does
now.
happen quite frequently.
That does-
Mine-
We
mine's
do,
more
we
mail.
do get a lot of, someone give me your name. I was like,
Yeah,
I want you to tell me who right now.
Yes. I have to
We
talk
just
to
had
them.
I have a new food preservation best friend from
Louisiana.
Shores, Louisiana.
From Louisiana,
My-
and you can tell when she calls.
Oh, yeah. She uses words I've never heard. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, so it's fantastic.
I do wanna talk a little bit about SOAR. SOAR is Winnebago and Outagamie counties because they work with Neenah Menasha. I don't usually talk about them much because their office is in Appleton, but this is working with people with differing abilities. And I have been there since about 2005, when I got a call. They wanted us to work with them. And the program that I'm doing right now has a waiting list with them. And Christy and I and SOAR and a couple of my other colleagues are going to be sitting down to see how we can rectify that. That we used to do 6 weeks with one group. They don't want to wait. They want to be in this cooking class that we are doing with them. So now we went to a 3-week program. That isn't enough. Their waiting list is still super long. Now we're doing weekly. And that is only to tell you the great things that we are doing. And working with SOAR and the differing abilities, again, just another amazing program. So I'm so glad that she gets to work with them as well. And the other thing is again, to my own horn, my daughter is involved. She has been since she was about 10, and she is now 17, that we were just honored to go to one of their nightly meetings to explain. It's just to give back to the people that help them. We're involved in a lot of their programs, the car fundraiser. There's another time I can tell you about that, but I
All
wish
the
we
laws that you would be unhappy with that car race.
that car race.
Yeah.
We race all around between the two counties and collect clues and have to do things and park and take pictures and then turn them into there, and then there's winners at the end, and we have to go to parks and we have to go to the mall and we have to go all over within a 3-hour period, and it's
Why would I be
fun.
unhappy?
How much safe driving happens?
It's very, very
How
safe.
many accidents have you had?
Not any.
So.
Okay. How many is it?
How many near misses have you had?
I'm not. I have gone over a couple curves, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see them.
Am I right?
Okay, so, but you have to have so many people in your car. Some have to be working the phone, some have to be driving, and some have to be answering questions.
Are
and
they
giving
all in
directions.
seatbelts?
Yes, you have to be
I
in
mean, I
seatbelts.
still have no problem with it.
Put a helmet on too, please.
You know what? I think,
I want you to.
I am gonna tell you this because I do have to leave, but I was asked not to drive anymore. I get too many people sick in the car.
Oh, dear.
I do.
One
follow
for
the
me, Andy. I'm
speed
gonna put it right here. One for me.
No, it is probably, I'm sore by the end of the day, just my face from smiling during that day, during those times, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
I have to go. Any more questions? I'll see you next time.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. All right. Extension Administration Department report, Chris.
All right, so I have a couple of updates or a handful of updates, and I've got some notes jotted down. They may or not be in the exact order of the facility, staff and department, or area, region updates, but I'll get to them in there. I just want to name, I am a little distracted this morning with the storms that went through. Both some of the staff have some, everybody's healthy and safe, but there's some damage, and also through the northern part of Outagamie County was hit. So the Emergency Operations Center was activated, and we're documenting our extension response and providing resources where possible. So so just trying to keep an eye on things. So here's what we've got. Here's what I've got. Facility updates, nothing super new or anything that's super changed. Couple of things looking at, so our departmental 2022 budget, we're actually looking good. Right now, it looks like we are very underspent, but our largest item just came in yesterday, the invoice for the contracted services agreement for the first half of the year. So that's our one single expense line. And for those that have been at the budget hearing, know that someone always picks up and it's like, was there like $200,000 for this line? And then it's the contracted services agreement. So that just came in for the first half of the year. Otherwise looking good. I will, as we work through the budget process, so transitioning a little bit to 2023, I'll keep you in the loop as far as when we ever hit those, when we hit the marks. Amy and I just got our levy target last week, so we are going to have our first conversation to look at what our knowns are and start working on that process. We did put in a reminder request to facilities to look at the carpeting in a couple of spaces, the high use areas, just to, because now is the time of the year to include in the 2023 budget and moving forward. Did not include intentionally. We had conversations with just as some of our small groups. Once a month I have an opportunity to meet with myself, Chad, Adam, and then Jerry, planning and zoning, so the department heads. So the 4 department heads, we meet with John and Ethan just to chat about how things are going. Working on, did not include any things for technology related to any of the live streaming or recording of meetings, because that really, it needs to be fleshed out at a much, instead of a department or a room by room level, to look at a broader solution. So that is something that I'm gonna think at some point in the not so distant future that that you're gonna, as supervisors, look at, whether it be use of whatever the pots of money and where the funds might be, but looking at what there might be, to be able to not just comply. So there's 2 parts. There is compliance with the rule, but then there's also some of the spaces, especially where extension's concerned, is trying to increase our opportunity and reach for our educational programs or other things. So one of the things, so this room, this committee and this room, we're not like, we're lower on the list because we have a solution that will work for now. This works, it's good enough. It may not be the best thing that's out there, but it meets the intent of, or what we feel is the intent of the rule. And that can be something that anybody in here using it, if Mandy has an educational session that can, be here, or if there's a connection to like a statewide webinar, and we can host. But that's as a small group. None of the other meeting rooms are set up like that, and that is that's what IS is working on, to try and find those solutions and determine what meeting rooms are spaces are going to be outfitted and what level we need to get to in order to have a good experience. In most cases, the limiting factor is audio. is audio recording. And there's two things where that needs to be good. One, you can listen and still be able to participate or at least follow along with a meeting. But if you have video only and the audio is poor, you don't have anything. Because unfortunately, we don't have a lot of, there's not a lot of charades or mimes that are presenting at any of our meetings. So without those, we kind of need the vocal piece. The other thing is that when it comes to open records, and this is something that's happening there, there's new opinions being offered, especially by the state attorney general, but nothing that has gone like case law or anything like that to determine. But that audio for open records or public records request, audio right now is the most important component rather than having the full audio and video. And so at least that's the opinion right now of what to focus on. So if you had to pick one, if you had to choose better audio over better video right now, because right now that would satisfy any opens records request if there were any. So just giving you a little bit of background of some things to come. One of the things, and I believe Mandy has shared, so Mandy and I are on an epic adventure to try and provide an opportunity for all Winnebago County staff
I didn't
to
even know what epic adventure was like.
an epic adventure to provide a real colors training, which also I also believe that the county board of supervisors are going to be extended opportunities to sign up and register. So really it's a temperament workshop that kind of finds out where you're the most natural, where you can operate with the least amount of energy, and when you know that, then you can interact with others around you, have a little more awareness, and you can improve, or at least have some understanding and might not get quite as upset or mad at them because you at least understand a little bit that makes them tick. So it's been really interesting. I've had an opportunity to see some buildings in the community that I haven't been in. So it's gotten me out and about, and I get a chance to, I've had a chance, and I got to show you that poster. To meet some county, to meet some new folks, and I did have the opportunity to meet one of your county board supervisor colleagues in the last session. Let's see, Ellenberger, is that Supervisor Ellenberg? A new supervisor. A new supervisor. So, and I can't remember which district number, so I apologize on that. So,
And Chris and I both love facilitating this workshop, so it is an epic adventure to get through all 1,200 staff for sure.
right.
So yeah, I hope you guys join us because it will be.
We haven't been invited.
Oh,
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's
I do know,
just-
I mean, because and I don't want to say the wrong name. So Betsy, somehow she found out, and so it's coming. That it'll be you'll be included in some upcoming email with some.
And it'll take us about a year. So there will be plenty of, we're doing a heavy lift right now
Yeah,
in
we're
June
trying to-
and July.
yeah.
We're trying to like really get through quite a few folks, so.
So so one of the things that I have seen, so when I was in Wood County, my colleague Peter Manley and I, we did real colors for their health and human services, which is in many cases, and like many other counties, it's one of the largest, if not the largest departments. And it's also one of the most diverse, because even though they might be a department, there's divisions that have areas of specialization and focus. And so Peter and I had the opportunity to do, I think we hit like 85% of their department. And they just provided the feedback that it provided a baseline, a foundation of understanding and communication with some of their others. And they had little name placards with their colors that they had near their workstations to kind of help communicate with others, and just an appreciation and an understanding of those strengths that people had, and some opportunities to help with some of the limitations, the understanding where there might be some things that people just aren't as naturally comfortable at doing. So that's been fun. And I just wanted to make you aware of that opportunity, or that's something that we're doing. The other piece is a couple of staffing updates. So the update on the horticulture position that was posted, we're going to extend the recruitment for I think another week or two, because we had a very small pool of applicants. I've not had an opportunity. So one of the different things is I don't get a chance to see the applicants while the position is still open, because there is a process that University of Wisconsin does redaction for certain key identifying elements of applications to help to reduce intentional bias. And so, for example, no names, no addresses, you think about it, standard cover letter, other specifics that would identify, especially in a small pool, that like, oh, I know this person. And so that and so unintentionally or intentionally, you might be like, oh, I know this person, that's great. And then they may not meet the qualifications, but you give them a pass because you know them, or you know the person and you're like, I don't know, I'm not gonna hire
Working with that
yeah,
one.
no way. When in fact they might be the most qualified individual for the position. So I haven't seen the strength of the three candidates at this time, but we're going to do that. I will send a note to the committee and the staff around to help try to promote to anybody that you think might be interested in a 3-day-a-week horticulture educator position. Also an update with the ag staffing. So one of the things is that the position, the funding for the position was included in the 2022 budget. Winnebago County is not getting charged at any time that we don't have a educator on board. So the dollars are there, but it's not like we're spending money that we're not getting a return or not able to provide some service. I say that because as we go through this budget process, I'm also working with the other counties in the area to determine what their interests are in ag staffing, particularly a county just to the northwest, and looking to see that there may be some opportunities, some new information, some new opportunities with new individuals on the board to expand the ag presence that was reduced there, to reinstitute some of those positions. If that is successful, then that's going to provide us some better geographic area and some partners to work with both a dairy educator, which I'm hoping that we can have a 3-county dairy educator with Outagamie, Waupaca, and Winnebago, and then a 2-county crops educator with potentially with Waupaca and Winnebago. If that process is not successful, I did have a conversation with our Ag Institute director, and we will post a position as early as the 4th quarter. So starting as early as this fall, trying to get that budget piece clarified. That would be just for Winnebago County, and then we would work to grow that position from there, and or continue to seek additional potentially additional partner counties that would make sense. So some movement forward on that, at least have a little bit of an idea. Not exactly, it's a slow process. It would really help if there wasn't a lake, and there might be a county that is right next door to the east, but we do have a large body of water, so to deal with. So that's an update there. The other state update is our new UW system president, Jay Rothman, started on June 1st. He is the one who oversees the university system in the board and works with the Board of Regents to make any high-level policy changes. And he's the one who also proposes proposes the budget. So he submits the budget soon for for the next biennium that will start July 1st, 2023. Still very early, but he's in it, he's in his leadership role, and we'll find out what impacts that might be for UW-Madison directly, and then indirectly for extension. The other thing, just to make you aware, the search and screen committee selected, and do you know how to pronounce our new chancellor's last name? Okay, so Jennifer, and I'm going to think it's Nukin because it's Mnookin, and I'm actually really have a gut feeling that the M is silent and that it's Nukin. But she will be starting in August as our new chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So we have a new chancellor on board. She had served as a dean in a dean's role at University of California, Los Angeles, so UCLA. So one of the things that our previous chancellor, Rebecca Blank, both of her parents were extension agents in Minnesota. So she had a strong understanding and appreciation for extension, and that was evident. So we're not sure, and we won't know until our new chancellor comes on
So
board.
a chancellor who's from Los Angeles decided she wanted to come to Wisconsin.
She was a dean. She was a dean,
Dean.
and now she's a chancellor.
Oh,
So it is
It's a career growth.
it's a very significant career
Okay,
career
all right.
jump.
Yes.
No, because the weather is
Los
very,
Angeles,
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, so one of the other things, Karen, is sometimes we might be so close to the trees, we may not see the forest. UW-Madison is a very highly respected institution for its academics, its research, and in the grand scheme of things, it has a huge and very loyal alumni base in many key parts. Chicago, Southern California is another area because of some of the sectors there. So not only is it a career advancement opportunity, but from what I understand, they did not have a lack for candidates. It was a very, very deep pool because it's a sought after. We are still
26 in the world, 26 or 25 in the world.
Yeah,
UW-Madison is ranked, yeah.
okay.
So that it is also a fairly prestigious. It may not be the president at Stanford or any of the Ivy League schools, but being an R1 research institution, there's to get that designation, you have to check a lot of boxes.
With a D1 athletics program. It's a unicorn, R1 research, D1 athletics,
Okay.
Yeah.
pretty dry.
I still stick with UW River Falls.
Yeah.
I mean, they're second. I mean, it's close.
No,
I see all the
The
things.
state schools get a bad rap, I think, sometimes.
I love
Everything's Madison, Madison, Madison.
Right.
Baloney. Chris went to River
I did,
Falls.
I
I
did.
went there.
I'm a
There's a lot of
UW
good
Oshkosh and
professors.
Green Bay alumni.
A lot of
all
good
bad,
professors
yeah.
there.
I
They're
couldn't
good
have gotten into Madison.
institutions. I'll put a state school of Madison any day, not for sports,
Yeah.
Right.
but for academics, I will. Anyway, that's my 2
Well,
cents.
So right.
and with those, and as Mandy pointed out, one of the things, if you look at, for example, the 14 schools that do make up the Big Ten athletics conference, they all of them are R1 research institutions with academic levels and have Division I athletic programs. So that is one of the unique things. And a few years ago, there were schools that really wanted to be part of the Big Ten. There was all this conference shuffling, and basically the Big Ten said, no, your academics aren't strong enough. It wasn't about the sports. So yeah. So just give you, I mean, that's just some background, way more than you probably needed to know, but that's what I've
But I
got.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Big pictures.
Yeah, so that's kind of some big picture stuff. And yeah, we'll keep you up to loop, keep you up to date on that. And then I'll also, as the budget process goes through, probably likely with the way the process is going this year, the September meeting, I will probably have the first opportunity to share the budget with you. go over our departmental, or at least the executive's proposed departmental budget for review. So
Any update on our rent guy?
oh, Todd.
Todd,
So, one of the things, and you'll see this, so I am working and I'm hoping that for the July meeting, to have our, even though, to have you review, the contracted services agreement that I'm gonna, forward through, for the executive to enter into, partially, or it's gonna go, I'm gonna have that, and we're gonna have that conversation and also do budget at the same time, because that is our largest line item. So one of the things, beginning, included in the January 20, in the budget that will start in 2023, my supervisor and I have worked behind the scenes that, we're able to get, Mandy's HDR educator position will be co-funded. So that means that, so previously in previous budgets, the state paid 100% of salary and fringes for, and this year, for both Mandy and Todd. So that is one, it's a significant recognition of I guess, correcting an imbalance amongst some of the other county peers of having a co-funded HDR educator in our county. It also is going to result in a fair salary savings, which is going to allow me to put that towards Todd and stabilize the funding and make it consistent in his role as a financial educator. So
full-time?
yeah, it'll be full-time. It'll be full-time so right now he technically has 2 appointments. And we're gonna get him to a single appointment
Two
that,
part-time appointments?
yeah, he has 2 half-time appointments because of how the hiring process, but now that he has the one, we can expand the one that actually pays him more. That's the whole point of that. And also recognizes him at the statewide level for the work that and contributions that he's done. One of the things that is interesting, and I learned this after the fact, but part of it with his connections with Oshkosh Correctional and the work that he's been doing, there's actually a specific, Todd has been working with the financial management team or the financial education team at the state and Oshkosh Correctional, and he's adapting some of his financial tools to a curriculum that's specifically focused on justice-involved families. So it's not only is it working with inmates who are ready to be released, but it also has educational materials for their families and things like that. And it's one of, and I'll let him talk a lot more about it, but it's one of the first pieces I believe in the U.S. that has been focused at justice-involved families with that content. So he's been like the lead adapter. It's using an existing program, but he's been the lead on adapting, and then he's also piloting with the residents at Oshkosh Correctional. So pretty cool work that's going on. So.
Okay, thank you.
It was just like yesterday in the heat.
No.
Okay. Anything else? Announcing upcoming extension events and county board meeting discussion.
We may want to put that off until Steve Bender is
Okay.
here.
All right.
Any quick thoughts on it? To me, the reason I brought it up
Yeah.
is just that, number one, you have, it gets recorded and people listen to it. So it's advertising. Anytime you get free advertising, I think you should take it.
Yeah.
The question is how do you present it and what do you do with it? It came to me when I missed a steak dinner for $9. Like, well, if I had known about it, I could have gone.
Yeah.
You know, the grilled cheese, food. So I think.
So one of the things, Tom, at least my initial thought is, we do have our newsletter, our upcoming events newsletter that is probably the best source. And if that's not so for example, if that's not something that just pops up, so I agree, we should have a broader discussion when Steve's here. But that might, those are the upcoming events and those are the things that are happening. And those would be good that would be a good source, to be able to use that as promote. And so, one, if you're not seeing that or getting that, then the conversation shifts to logistics, to how to make sure, that we get it,
And I guess the way I was looking at it is that somebody would bring, one of us or Steve would bring out to the board meeting, are you getting it? If they're not, okay, we'll get it for you. But then take the time every month and maybe highlight what somebody thinks, like with the fair coming up, I would think next month, we'd make sure that we
Right.
highlighted the fair without getting into a lot of different stuff. And that's where I think we should have a discussion to find out how we want to go ahead and set some ground rules and then make it happen.
And I guess where I was going, Tom, is that anything contained in there, that's one of the more up to date. Those would be items that anyone on this committee could or can share during a meeting to bring it to attention of the group.
That's how come I think the information's there, it's just which ones do we choose and how we present it, maybe be talked over at this meeting and then somebody does.
Sure.
Yeah, next meeting, then if we could have that put on the agenda for next meeting. I mean, if Binder's gonna be here, if he's not gonna be here, then
How long could a car show last?
yeah, how long can a car
You'd be surprised.
show
All right. Any comments from committee members? Tom? Doug?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I just want to announce, it's another department, but there is a wheelchair wash. The annual wheelchair wash is the 25th. It's at JNR Automotive, the parking lot, and it's from 10 to noon, and it runs, about the same time that the farmer's market's going on, so it's an easy access. Wheelchairs are thoroughly cleaned and they're checked by a technician, and things are tightened up, and people go home with a written report from the technician for their own personal technicians, like if something needs to be repaired, these are things you need to check. Food, brats and hot dogs, and it's an entertainment. Frankie, whatever her last name is, singing, and it's a fun atmosphere. So wheelchair wash, and that's really all I have. Committee meeting schedule. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Well, the next thing says we're meeting again July 21st, but is there anything else we were supposed to discuss with that?
I'm not aware,
I was just told to keep it on the agenda for each month to see
Oh.
if that
Oh.
same date and time works for everybody. each
okay,
month.
then it is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's just the confirmation that July 21 at 9 a.m.
Right.
can work. And I will, Amy and I will work with, just confirming with Kay, Supervisor Haran, that works as well, because then that would be
Okay.
the 100%, the
Right,
consensus, there's the word.
okay,
Um,
all right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Till the 21st of July.
All right, it's 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
right here. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
9 o'clock.
Aye.
Have a safe and happy 4th.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Okay, is this your packet for Tuesday's meeting? Mine always arrive at CVS. And it's not there. It hasn't come yet. I'm gonna stop at the office and find out.
No dose and a blankie.
Yeah.
For the meeting.
Good
It's
luck,
gonna be a
my
long
friends.
one.